20th Century Fox presents Academy Award winner Jodie Foster and international action star Chow Yun-fat in Anna and the King.
It really is a story about East meets West and West meets East and the two prejudices that each person brings to the table.
I love the idea of doing a movie or a style of movie that they really don't do anymore. These big sweeping epics that have an enormous landscape and an amazing background, and yet the story is just about these two people trying to survive within that environment.
Sir is married?
A widow. Can you please explain to me why you call me sir?
Women do not stand in the presence of His Excellency.
For a woman at that time in the 1860s to travel thousands and thousands of miles in a ship all by herself, independently of a man with a young son, to start a life in a country that couldn't be further than where she came from, I think is a pretty courageous and amazing thing.
Your Majesty.
You do not look sufficient of age. How many years have you?
Enough to know that age and wisdom do not necessarily go hand in hand.
It's a romantic drama. It's the story of a woman who changed the heart of a king, who came to Siam and helped change this country.
You claimed you wanted Siam to take its place among the modern world. You spoke of building something greater than yourself.
Everything has its own time.
It's like talking to a brick wall.
You are learning.
She has lots of battles with the King of Siam and tries to change things in ways that she shouldn't.
You have the power to lead your...
Now is not the time to change the way that things are done.
Well, if not now, then when? You cannot shut the world out forever.
It's quite passionate moment for two characters in a big epic.
I believe there's been enough insult caused by this woman who believes herself to be the equal of a man.
Not the equal of a man, the equal of a king.
When you really look into the history of Siam in the 19th century, it was a very violent, very dangerous time in Southeast Asia.
These are dangerous times, Your Majesty. A foreigner's influence can be equally so.
For star Jodie Foster, one of the attractions in making the film was shooting on location in Malaysia.
I'd done a big trip in Asia and completely fell in love with Asia and the idea of working there.
Let's go. For some reason, he decides to go that way. Right.
The difference in our film is that it really is an epic. You see all of the beauty in the architecture and the pageantry and the landscapes that Siam was at the time.
Yun-fat is Tom Cruise here in Asia. The way people behave and flutter when he walks into a room or walks into a restaurant is amazing.
Okay, so we have to really play.
So you should play for this version.
Okay.
It's the chemistry between Yun-fat and Jodie that ultimately makes you look at that, wow, what a beautiful scene, and then you realize that you're in this tropical paradise.
Director Andy Tennant depicts the romance between Anna and the King against an epic canvas.
Don't stop right on the word.
I think one of Andy's gifts is that he's an artist who attempts to render quality, thought-provoking material in a way that is at the same time accessible. But he's also not averse to gunfights and bridges exploding.
The production faced the challenge of creating one of the largest sets ever built, a 7-acre replica of the King's Palace in Bangkok.
Luciana Riggi, our production designer, we all fell in love with early on. She was one of the first major pieces of casting that we brought onto the movie. Between her and Andy, they had an amazing vision for this palace.
We conceived it because we didn't film in Thailand, so there was no other option. And I knew that geographically, Malaysia would be very good, so all the locations would be there. But I did tell everybody that there's not one stick of architecture that we could use, so we had to build it, there's no other choice. There are about 500 to 800 men involved now, you're seeing, on this set. We've built complete structures, but we've only built the buildings we were interested in. But this was just such a huge scale, and it is even bigger than the real palace.
It is my pleasure that you live in the palace.
But it is not mine, Your Majesty.
These two very different people who have very different points of view about the world learn that the other side is actually okay.
I never danced with an English woman before, ma'am.
Nor I with the king.
I know what I want, when I go to the movies. I just want to be swept up in a world and a story that I've never seen before.
Why did you come back?
I could not imagine as I am without you.
I can say that it's a tremendous romance, big epic love story.
Your Majesty, promise me that I will see you again.
Hopefully what we're moving towards is a film that is romantic, of course,